Investigators say a Chinese ship deliberately cut undersea data cables. Bluesky has a verification problem. And Australia is one step away from banning social media for under 16s. It's Friday, November 29th, and this is Engadget News. European investigators believe a Chinese-owned commercial ship deliberately dragged its anchor to sabotage the two undersea telecommunications cables cut in the Baltic Sea earlier this month. However, Western law enforcement and intelligence officials told the Wall Street Journal that they do not believe the Chinese government was involved. Instead, the probe is focused on whether Russian intelligence persuaded the vessel's captain to carry out the operation. For the past week, NATO warships from Denmark, Germany, and Sweden have surrounded the 225-meter-long Yipeng 3. The ship's Chinese owner is reportedly cooperating with investigators. The shipper allowed the commercial vessel to be stopped in international waters. The Wall Street Journal says Swedish and German authorities are negotiating with the owner to access the ship and its crew. International maritime laws prevent NATO from forcing the vessel to sail into one of their ports. European investigators believe the Yipeng 3 dragged its anchor for over 100 miles along the Baltic seabed from November 17th to the 18th, and they reportedly viewed satellite and other data showing that the vessel moved significantly slower than usual while weighed down by the anchor. It severed two data cables, one connecting Lithuania and Sweden and another between Finland and Germany. After cutting the second cable, the ship reportedly zigzagged, raised anchor, and continued. Officials said the ship's transponder was shut down during the incident. Investigators told the Wall Street Journal that their review of the anchor and hull showed damage consistent with dragging and cutting the cable. The Yipeng 3 sailed solely in Chinese waters from December 2019 to early March 2024. At that point, it suddenly began carrying Russian coal and other goods and began stopping in Russian ports. When the Danish Navy stopped it, it was carrying Russian fertilizer. In September, the U.S. issued a warning about a heightened risk of Russian interference with undersea data cables. Bluesky is bigger than ever, but as the upstart social media service surges, the platform is facing some growing pains. Among them, the influx of new users has opened up new opportunities for scammers and impersonators hoping to capitalize on the attention, and Bluesky's lack of a conventional verification system. A recent analysis by Alexios Mantzarlis, director of the Security, Trust, and Safety Initiative at Cornell Tech, found that 44% of the top 100 most followed accounts on Bluesky had at least one doppelganger, with most looking like cheap knockoffs of the bigger account, down to the same bio and profile picture. Unlike many of its counterparts, which offer check marks and official badges to government officials, celebrities, and other high-profile accounts, Bluesky has a more hands-off approach to verification. Instead of proactively verifying notable accounts itself, the company encourages users to use a custom domain name as their handle in order to self-verify. Once you change your handle to match a domain that you own, your old alias becomes available again, so you'll either need to set up a new account to squat on your old handle or risk an impersonator scooping it up. And even if you add a custom domain, it doesn't offer foolproof protection against impersonation. A dedicated scammer could use a lookalike domain and verify an imposter account. To make things more confusing, Bluesky itself gives no indication other than the handle name that an account has been verified. Verified accounts don't have a visual indicator like a check or a badge that differentiates them from unverified ones. Bluesky CEO Jay Graber has signaled that she's potentially open to alternate approaches to verification. In a live stream on Twitch last week, she said the company might at some point become a verification provider. TechCrunch, which reported the remarks, said that her comments suggested a future system in which there are multiple providers of verification. Graber added that she's not sure when such a scenario would play out, though. Australia is set to ban under-16s from social media services after the Senate passed a bill to that effect by 34 votes to 19. The legislation will return to the House of Representatives, which will need to approve amendments before it becomes law. That is all but a formality, as the government holds a majority in that chamber. The bill, which has been fast-tracked, sailed through the lower house in a vote earlier this week. The government has said that the likes of Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and X will be subject to the new rules, which will not come into force for at least 12 months. However, officials still have to confirm which platforms the ban actually covers, as they are not detailed in the bill. The BBC noted that the country's communications commissioner, Michelle Rowland, will determine that with help from a so-called e-safety commissioner. The latter will be responsible for enforcing the law. The rules will not apply to health and education services, gaming platforms, or messaging apps, nor those that do not require an account. So the likes of Fortnite, Roblox, and YouTube are likely to avoid any ban. Companies that are subject to the legislation could face fines of up to $32 million if they fail to comply. They will have to employ age verification tech, though the specifics of that have yet to be determined. The government plans to assess various options in the coming months, but Rowland confirmed this week that platforms will not be able to compel users to submit a personal document, such as passport or driver's license, to verify their age. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Will Shanklin, Carissa Bell, and Chris Holt, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back on Monday with more tech news from Engadget.